Well,
very
welcome.
stylish, and this is a very in outfit.
Isn't it very nice?
With the big pants, I love it.
The big pants.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the pearls.
Yeah.
You look fabulous now, but you looked very fabulous at the Golden Globes on Sunday
yes,
night.
yes.
Now, you were excellent, but happened to get bleeped on live television. And I'll remind you we're on now. What was going through your mind in that moment? And I love that you just let it all out.
What was going through my mind, and I got bleeped because I made it, very strong, was that we were very lucky to be in that room.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's a difficult profession.
It's
a very competitive profession. You have to have incredible resilience, and to be in that room is a big deal.
Yeah.
Whether you win or not doesn't really matter.
Very well. Well, you got to sit next to your Air Force One co-star, Harrison Ford, all night at the Globes. What's he like as a seatmate? And did he keep quoting his famous line, "Get off my plane"?
He was fun. I said, because the room was packed.
Yeah.
And I said, if there was a fire alarm, what would you do? He said, I'd probably just sit here and watch everybody get clogged, as they're going out. He said, unless there was a fire in my pants.
Well, one thing I just learned about this is you played, obviously you played the first female vice president in that movie in 1997. And there was one scene that you insisted on being changed. Can you tell us about that?
They had a scene where she cried because she was so, I don't know.
Rattled and
rattled.
Yeah.
And I said, I will not cry because I don't think a woman would do that in that situation.
Wow. Well done. I love that.
And they actually listened to it? They actually did it. The director said,
Yes,
you're right?
yeah. Well, I wouldn't do it.
You
for
won
one
that
thing.
round.
But,
Good for you.
Yeah.
But speaking of vice presidents, in 2020, you played J.D. Vance's Mamaw? Mamaw, yeah.
Yes, his grandmother.
His grandma in Hillbilly Elegy. And the movie was based on his best-selling memoir. I remember him hawking it in the old days.
Yeah.
So, and he even visited the set at the time you were doing that. Which
and he helped young Owen, who was playing him. He helped him. We all met members of the family.
Yeah.
We all sat with them individually, one-on-one. And for me, with Mamaw, I'd say, how did she walk into a room? How did she sit? How did she smoke? Yeah. How did she laugh? How did she change the chemistry? Yeah. So that was, the family was very generous with their time.
He had a whole different personality in those days than he has now.
I don't know what happened.
A lot of people out there like that. The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I think, is the name of that movie.
You were so fabulous.
I think power is probably the biggest aphrodisiac for a human being.
You're right.
I honestly forgot it was you because you're so fabulous in it. You take on the whole Mima of it.
She was an amazing woman. Yeah. I mean, I was toning her down, actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, now he's talking about childless cat ladies, so there's that. But Fatal Attraction is my favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Sorry. My husband knows that. My husband knows I will not be ignored, Dan. But we have to talk about your new one, Back in Action, because it's so much fun. It's so wonderful. You just light up the screen when you show up, killing birds. It's a comedy action film, also starring Cameron Diaz, as we saw in her first role in 10 years. Jamie Foxx, who we're so happy to be recovered from a health scare while filming. What was it like to work with the cast?
Oh, it was great. It was one of those wonderful experiences. Jamie loves to have music in between the setups.
Oh.
So he'd have some great music going on and everybody would be it was fun. And my cohort in the movie, Jamie Demetriou, we figured out this thing that actually wasn't initially in the script.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just what our relationship was. And we had a lot of fun.
Oh, let me ask you this also, because you play this badass ex-spy. I thought you were a current spy in it. It's like a gangsta grandma type thing. And I hear you did most of your own stunts.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, well, I like doing stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm like, you're like beating people up.
What's your prep for that?
That's just another day at the office.
It's just like amazing.
Gym, go to the gym.
Well, how do you prep for that? I mean, you're obviously incredible. So you don't go...
Well, you work with the stunt guy, and, it's a matter of
frying
time.
pans and stuff.
You get the guy's hand, you put it on the hot thing.
Because then you don't have to stop and so put
And have
yourself in,
somebody
and
come
then have the last thing that you saw them like this, and then you have to get in there and then do it if you're not doing it. But if you're doing it, if you're doing your own stuff, it makes it a lot easier and it goes faster.
Unless you break a bone, but yeah.
And also, I couldn't miss.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
this movie has a lot of, you know, fights and guns, but there's no blood,
Yeah.
No.
which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like it's a romp.
Yeah.
It's a spy
It's family
romp. It's kind
friendly.
of a throwback to some of those great fun films.
Remember those?
Yeah, remember those?
So, Glenn, I'm not even going to say what a career you've had, because it's you've played everything. Men, women, big, little, scary, funny. I mean, how is it now? How are you feeling about the work now?
I'm feeling as excited about work as I've ever felt.
Yes.
Wow.
Because I you know, I don't want to repeat myself because that's boring.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find things that you know, stretch me in different ways, and you just hope you get offered something that's interesting.
You just played a
Yeah.
really great role in a horror movie.
Oh, The Deliverance.
Oh, man, you scared me in that one.
I can't say that line, can
I already got us in enough trouble today. Yeah, we're bypassed
One of your
that.
most iconic roles is actually Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians.
Right.
Do kids ever recognize you from that when you're out and about?
Oh, it's so funny. Kids now know me as Cruella. They don't know me as
Yeah.
Right.
I once went to a college and showed Fatal Attraction to the kids who had never seen it, and they come like, you know, it was great. But yeah, it's Cruella.
Wow.
It's Cruella. And I one time did a laugh when I saw a little kid, and
Yeah.
they came, and I laughed. When, you know, went.
All the color drained out of
The
town.
little girl started crying.
But wait, there's one guy here.
Yeah. Well,
There's
really-
one guy dressed.
Don't cry.
Oh, yeah, the hair.
He's got his hair.
I guess anyone can wear it these days. But in real life, you're an animal lover, and your dog
Yeah.
Pip,
Yes.
formerly known as Sir Pippin of Beanfield,
like
goes
that.
wherever you go. So can we meet
Yeah.
Pip?
Pippi!
Oh.
Pippi! Come on! Oh my gosh!
Oh, Sir Pippin.
Sir Pippi! Hi, baby! Sweet hi!
Is that a Havanese?
Yes.
He's very well behaved.
I have a Havanese too. They're the best dogs. He looks just like
Well,
her.
we've been on the bus together.
Really?
We've traveled together,
That's
the
right.
three of us, on my bus.
That's right.
Yeah.
What a well-behaved
Yes.
Mr. Pip.
Barbara Walters had a Havanese.
yeah.
They're the
Oh,
best
they're
dogs.
They're very
amazing.
sweet dogs.
Very
Look at
smart.
how nice. What a ham. What a ham.
What a gentleman.
Listen, Glenn, anytime, you know, this is a spot you can always come and don't look at me like that. This is what Paul is asking me to do. So we have to thank Glenn Close. Back in Action hits
brilliant.
Netflix next Friday, January 17th.